God, grant me the sovereignty to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Believe it or not, this is, of course, the sovereign prayer, but this is also coming from a film that I got to check out with animation in film or is film. And I'm talking about the colors within. This film was phenomenal. I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you guys. You have a character named Totsuko. Um, Totsuko is a high school girl. She used to do dance, or not dance, but she was a ballerina for a little bit when she was younger. She really is kind of an outsider. Like, she's really bubbly and loving. She gets motion sick very easy. But she has an innate ability to see the colors in people, like actual the aura around a person or object. She can see them. Like, if she's looking at her sister Hayako, she may see yellow. If she's looking at her friends, they have very vibrant, bright colors. She just has that sense. It's almost like a superpower. She calls it her own quirk. And one day she, has had a person that she's been looking at for a while, and that person's name is Kimi. Kimi has this blue aura around her, and it's the most beautiful. It literally is drawing Totsuko in, and she kind of tries to follow her around, and she's captivated by her. She gets hit in the head like during a dodgeball match, and after that point, she just loses track of her. And in losing track of her, she wants to immediately find her again because, like, her life, even though she has this ability, she doesn't feel fulfilled. And because it doesn't feel fulfilled, it feels colorless. It feels like there's this emptiness, a void of color. So she goes out, tries to find her, and in finding her, she meets another person that has a very interesting aura about them that's very green, and that is Rui. Rui is a guy, and he is got his own stuff going on as well. And that is how these three individuals come together from and because of Tatsuko's ability, and also the help of a white cat. I know that sounds weird, but I wanted to give you the background premise of it. This looks gorgeous. There's times when I'm watching the animation this because they use sketch for certain moments where Tatsuko is seeing colors. Like, it may be like what you would see like somebody using colored pencil, or maybe sometimes using a painted color. And it's like it fills in the lines because the colors are moving, they're vibrant. Like, even if it's the clouds, they're moving, they're vibrant. But the actual outline of every single character is very detailed, very refined. So it's kind of like when you see like the snow, like if it's snowing outside, very precise details. When you see like water dripping down somewhere, you can see every single little drop. And then where it's spreading to, like on the ground and on the grass, when the wind blows, it is so well done. And then when you get to the characters models, like even Tatsuko's in and of herself, like she isn't got like a slender face. It's kind of like a little bit bigger face. And proportionally, she really looks like a high school student, like down to her feet, like the height, everything about how they handle the design for these characters, they feel individually completely different. No one frame for a person is exactly the same, which I really appreciate that attention to detail because it makes the believability of you falling in love with these characters. Now, the thing that's so interesting is when the three characters come together. It is actually one of the most beautiful forms of friendship, camaraderie, connection in the way that I haven't seen in a very long time. This brings me back to like those old 90s like sitcoms or movies, but they find a way of fitting it in within about an hour and 40 minutes. A true loving connection that is totally platonic, that's not necessarily sensual in nature. There's no nudity or any kind of weirdness here or there. It's just what it is. You have Tatsuko, who's a character that loves openly, sees the life in people and wants to share it, and is bold enough to kind of be herself around people. Kimi is a gifted, right, individual that has an inadequacy complex and is chosen a certain path for herself, and she's just done, right? But she meets Tatsuko, it brings her into a different light. Then you have Rui, who's kind of this guy, and he's like, I mean, to be fair, like Tatsuko and Kimi come from a school, a high school that is an all-girl school, a very Christian conservative school, and them even interacting with him is just not, it's not what it's supposed to be. But he, in and of himself, is got a pathway that he's trying to forge. But what happens when they come together, they make beautiful music. It is, I did not anticipate, one, this to even be something about music. Because I thought, like, just the human element of people, like, coming together and, like, she's seeing something in them but can't even see the color in herself. Like certain things and themes that they're learning from interacting with each other, and like who they want to be and who they're striving to be, and them trying to help each other achieve that and being there for one another. By the end of the movie, it was so good. It was so good. But the music, y'all, when they start making music and how they make their music, what it lines up for the creation of music. Like if you've seen Sing, right? There's a character named Ash, and how Ash comes to be a songwriter. It's small sprinkles of what that looks like here, but it's so much more refined and it's so on target because every song that's created from this, they work on throughout the course of the film. But when you see the work that's put in and what it actually does, oh, it's so good. And it's actually decent. Like, I mean, they use different instruments. They have to learn different. Some of them are already capable of using certain instruments. There was one instrument that I had never even heard before, but I really love how they kind of handled it. Now, there is another verse that came up within, because I brought up one verse. Well, not a verse, but I brought up a prayer that kind of came up. But there's a verse from Isaiah 43:4, and it reads, since thou wast precious in sight, thou hast been honorable, and I love thee. Therefore I give men for thee and people for thy life. Meaning that because I loved you, because, who you are, there are going to be people that are going to be provisioned for you and given to you that are going to make you even more refined. And it's meant for you. It's divinely meant for you. And I think that verse is an amalgam of where their relationship is. If you guys get a chance to check out The Colors Within, you guys are going to fall in love with it, like I have. There's nothing about this that I think is bad. I did not even realize that this is from the director that did A Silent Voice that wrecked me. And it makes so much more sense because A Silent Voice is one of the best films I've ever seen. Every time I watch A Silent Voice, I cry. This film, there was a moment that I did, drop some tears. But this film, even down to after the credits, made me more encouraged and uplifted and just excited about life. And it's so essential for especially right now. So highly recommend you go and check out The Colors Within. If you haven't seen The Silent Voice, definitely recommend you go and check out that. A little bit more serious on the tone with certain stuff with The Silent Voice. But this is just beautiful, and I want you guys to go and check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Thank you so much for Animation in Film, for giving us the opportunity of being able to provide coverage for this. And yeah, there's some other stuff from Animation in this film that I'm going to be bringing up soon, but I'll talk to you guys more later. Peace, people.